will be treated just like the rest of us. Not until you've signed my lunchbox.
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. If you don't know me, my name is Brandon, and I'm a high school principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. Yet again, taking another look at an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. This one, just like usual, came from you guys' recommendations. It's called Hot Shot. I've never seen it. It's from season 8. I'm kind of wondering, is this episode going to be kind of in the style of the later seasons or the earlier seasons or something different altogether? Just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing if you like my content, or better yet, become a channel member. Click down below. And without further ado, let's get right into it. That's a different one. Here we go. Boating school. Yeah, I haven't seen this one, of course, and I got the feeling this one was not so much in class, but usually you guys recommend either ones that have to do with boating school or just your favorite episodes, both of which are totally fine. I love basing my content off of your recommendations, but seems like this one's going to start off in Mrs. Puff's boating school.
Mrs. Puff.
Okay.
For me? Well, on behalf of yours truly, I would like to thank each of you for such a wonderful and warm welcome. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
What'd I do?
Oh, Mrs. Puff, thank you most of all.
SpongeBob, that warm welcome wasn't for you.
Yeah, that's what I
It
thought.
wasn't.
No.
Who was it for?
It was for him!
See the hot shot? Underwater smoke. It's quite
It's Tony Fast, the famous raceboat driver.
Tony Fast. Okay, I see the word fast here on his jacket. That's quite a chin he has there. And with the mustache and the hat, I'm guessing this guy is the hot shot for which the episode is named. I'm wondering, what's his connection to the boating school?
I can't believe that I'm in the presence of such big celebrities.
Good luck on your first day of school, son. Yeah, whatever. Don't show off too much.
Just enough. All right, so he's dropping his kid off to boating school, and that he looked like a pretty small child, 6 or 7 years old. I don't know. Maybe they'll tell us how old he is, but I didn't think you could go to boating school when you're quite that young. Most people are kind of around SpongeBob's age, which I know we've talked all about that also.
Hey, Tony Jr., want to sign my lunchbox? Want to sign my steering wheel? I was here first.
No, you weren't. I was.
Fighting over him.
While Tony Jr. is a student here, he will receive no
There you go.
special attention.
There you go. I love that Mrs. Puff music. I don't know why. I remember the first several episodes I reviewed on this channel was all about Mrs. Puff and that Mrs. Puff's boating school theme. I just love it for some reason. I don't know why.
You will be treated just like the rest of us. Now, Tony, report to the obstacle course where I will assess your abilities.
Sure thing, Teach.
Teach.
Hold it. Not until you've signed my lunchbox.
Oh, man. So she's going to treat him exactly like everybody else, huh? And then she says, all right, out to the obstacle course, but please sign my lunchbox. That's not exactly treating him the same.
Looks like it's my turn.
Okay. So far, so good.
Goes around, comes around.
Literally.
Over and out.
Literally again.
If he's really that good, maybe there's a chance some of that could rub off on my most incorrigible student, SpongeBob.
Yep. And I see what Mrs. Puff is thinking here. She is hoping that maybe he'll rub off on SpongeBob. To Mrs. Puff's credit, it seems like in most episodes, she does try very hard to help SpongeBob, even though time and time again, he kind of makes it rather difficult for her to do that with all of the crashing and just his inability to pass the driving test. She still comes back time and time again to help him, with the exception of a couple episodes I've seen, like Demolition Doofus and a couple of others, but most of the time she's still, sort of trying to help him in any way that she can.
Yes!
Mrs. Puff,
Yes, SpongeBob?
what does incorrigible mean?
So you just want...
Yeah, he's standing there the whole time overhearing her talk about him, but he doesn't know what incorrigible means, so he doesn't quite understand how she's talking about him here.
That's it.
Whatever. Let's roll.
It's nice to finally meet you, Tony Fast Jr.
I said let's roll.
Yeah, he is a hot shot. You hear this attitude, and compared to his dad, he looks like he's like 6 or 7 years old here, and yet he has like a man's voice. I still don't really understand. Is he a man? Is he a child? Is he somewhere in between? I'm not real sure here.
I know this.
Just drive.
Just driving.
Or
What do these dotted lines mean?
Relax, man. You gotta relax.
yeah.
Relax. Mrs. Puff hasn't taught us that yet.
No, I mean just relax, man.
He can't.
So hard. I can't relax.
You just gotta let go.
Let go.
Uh-oh, don't tell him to let go.
Ooh.
I was going to say, don't tell him to let go. He'll do that literally and let go of the wheel. And I'm very surprised he hasn't crashed yet. But compared to his other driving tests, this is one of the better ones he's done. He usually crashes kind of immediately.
Be cool.
There you go. Maybe this will work.
Ooh.
Not bad. All right.
bad.
All right. I'm kind of impressed. This is one of those episodes that I've seen a few others where for a period of time during the episode, he kind of does okay. And a couple of times he's even gotten his license, but then it's either voided or taken away or destroyed or something. So far, so good in this episode. And I'm loving the music too. You probably kind of saw me enjoying it there. So many of these little themes. I don't know why. The SpongeBob music, I do enjoy listening to that.
Dude, not bad.
It's a miracle.
Yep, that went better than expected.
Mhm.
Oh, if Tony Jr. can keep this up, then SpongeBob might even graduate, and I'll be rid of him forever.
Oh man. And I did say, she's good for continuing to work with him, but a lot of times you'll hear her say things like that. She wants him to graduate not because she cares about him graduating, but just to be rid of him because he has come back time and time again, year after year, to take her class because he has not passed it. And so if he can just pass it, he'll be done and she'll be rid of him there. Not the best look, Mrs. Puff.
Okay, bro Jangles. Catch you on the flip side.
Okay.
What the?
And I'm eager to learn more from you.
Eager?
Yeah.
I can't teach you anything more at this square school. No
Uh-oh.
offense, SquarePants. You can come by my house laters.
Ooh, I'd be delighted to.
Okay. That's his house.
Who is it?
SpongeBob SquarePants. Tony
Sure.
Fast Jr.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know SpongeBob has a unicycle also. Let's see what happens here.
Nice place you got here, Tony Jr.
My mom and dad are out.
Oh.
Okay.
What does that mean?
It means you want to see my dad's vintage speedboat collection.
Oh, what
And he
Hmm.
took first place
Inside
in
the
this
house.
beauty, and Smitty Tailpipe Rothermar.
Wow,
Okay.
they're so shiny. My favorite. Oh, I couldn't.
Why, sure you can. What's the big...
This one.
Huh? The Baytona Classic. Excellent
Baytona.
choice. Want to take it for a spin?
No. That is a huge mistake, my man. He said, pick your favorite. And I'm like, do you mean you want him to select his favorite to take out and drive, or just tell him which one is his favorite? Hopefully the latter. But then he's like, here, take her out for a spin. I'm like, that is not what you want to be doing. That's a big mistake. But let's see what happens here.
But we don't even have voting licenses.
Yeah,
You don't
true.
need a boating license for a race boat, SquarePants.
I think you do.
You're telling me.
Are you sure you're comfortable with me driving, though?
I'm not comfortable with you driving, SpongeBob, and I'm not even in the video. So, and not only is this a normal boat, but it's a speed boat with big racing tailpipes coming out of it and stuff. And so far, so good, though. I mean, he hasn't crashed, but I'm just waiting for it. I know it's coming, but we'll see how this plays out here.
I wouldn't if I were you. Remember, it was your nerves that made us almost crash before.
My nerves.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about.
Uh-oh.
Nerves!
Uh-oh. Yeah, and that's so funny. He was fine until he reminded him of his nerves earlier. They call it nerves. And that's a very interesting issue if you've ever dealt with anxiety or anything like that. It's sort of like if you focus on it, like the more you focus on the nervousness or anxiety, the worse it gets. And if you sort of get distracted and forget about it for a while, it's as if you have no issues with that, but then someone reminds you again and you're like, oh, it all comes back. I guess that's sort of what's happening to SpongeBob in a way here.
Sorry, sir.
Just let go.
Let go. Not literally.
Got it.
Okay. Ooh, okay. There he is. He's let go. So that's what I thought he was going to do the first time, but then he drove really perfectly down the course. I'm thinking, don't tell him to let go because he'll let go with his hands off the steering wheel. And that's what he does here. And he's in this speedboat. And here's a sharp curve. This is going nowhere good.
Go fast,
How did he turn?
SpongeBob.
How did he turn? His hands were like this, and the boat, it was going straight, and then it turned. If someone can explain to me in the comments how that happened, I would love to hear about it.
Faster.
Just let go. Up the brakes.
If you say so.
Okay. Yeah, how's it turning?
Now you're getting it.
Red light.
Uh-oh.
Real cool, Squip.
This is like the best he's ever done. I'm really surprised. This is like the best he's ever driven. So credit to Mr. Hotshot here.
Thanks, TFJ.
That's quite a fancy speedboat you got there.
Uh-oh.
For a couple of squares.
Uh-oh, this is not
And
good.
I say how lovely your speedboat is, too.
Wise guy, huh? Well, then how about you wise up to an unfriendly competition? Right
Here we
now?
go.
Right here,
There's a
right
long red
now.
light.
Little short notice. I'll need to check my availability.
What? What is this? So instead of saying yes or no, he says he's got to check his availability for right now. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock right now. I've never seen a planner quite like that. And I'm also thinking this is a long red light. Like they've been sitting here at this red light for quite some time now.
Looks like I don't have anything scheduled for right now.
Mm.
Therefore, I would like to accept your challenge. Certain safety concerns prevent me from doing so.
There you
Therefore,
go.
I must decline.
Uh-huh. I was wondering because the whole character of SpongeBob, except for some of the later season episodes, he's really, he's kind of innocent and honest, always does the right thing, wants to obey the rules. When these guys first pull up and challenge him, I'm like, there's no way he would accept that because he knows it's wrong to go racing. That's not part of boating safety, and he's all about boating safety, even though he crashes constantly. He wants to be safe, so I don't see him accepting this challenge here, but let's see.
SquarePants, I can't believe what I'm hearing here.
He's going to persuade him.
Look, kid, being cool includes accepting this challenge.
Ah.
Anything less would be an embarrassment.
I would never want to embarrass you, Tony Jr.
Uh-oh.
Therefore, I accept your challenge.
Oh, it's on.
What he said.
Here we go. I don't like the way this is going.
What he said.
Uh-oh.
Sweet! Instantanage!
Instant tan. Wow. Okay. All right. Click it or ticket. I haven't heard that in a while. Never heard it in Bikini Bottom either. So I'm surprised he has not crashed. And he's going this fast. And again, with the impossible SpongeBob physics flames coming out here underwater, I'm wondering what's going to happen with the police up ahead here.
We're winning. We're winning.
But you're going to get pulled over.
Whoa, did you see that? He was going Tony fast.
Tony fast.
Huh? Oh no! The cops are after us.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over that siren.
Police, a helicopter.
After us.
What's that? I couldn't hear you over that helicopter.
And in other news, son of racing legend Tony Fast
Uh-oh.
is currently embroiled in a high-speed chase.
What the?
What are we gonna do?
Junior, when I get my hands on you, I'm gonna...
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. My dad is after us.
Yeah, that's a
Where
problem.
Are we gonna go?
How should I know he's your dad?
Well, just remember my advice, okay? All you gotta do is Let go.
Let go.
Be cool. Let go. Be cool.
So you see where letting go has gotten us so far? Huh?
Mhm.
Tony Jr.
Look at the road. Off a cliff. Okay. I was expecting him to go off a cliff. I think I've seen them go off this particular cliff like 3 times. But no, he crashes right into the boating school or onto the dock of the boating school. Let's see how this ends here.
Well,
Mrs. Puff.
class, I regret to inform you that Tony Jr. is no longer with us. He was transferred to another school.
Never argue and
Oh.
drive.
And she says he transferred to another school. That does happen all the time in real life, not so much in boating school. I don't know how that would work, but students do transfer and move around. And, you know, you just go to your new school and register, and then your old school sends the new school the records. Unfortunately, I've talked about this in other videos, that there are some students that tend to bounce around from school to school to school. It's never a great experience. Every school is going to try and make the transition fairly smooth, but if it's kind of at a random time or you have tended to bounce around between multiple schools, it does make that process a little bit more difficult.
The lesson is never let you drive.
Yeah, and I saw SpongeBob there in the hospital bed or whatever it was. That does not happen. Generally, students who get injured, if it's going to be like a really long-term injury, a lot of schools will have programs where they're permitted to do their studies from home, but you have to have a doctor basically saying, hey, this student is not going to be able to return to school for some time, either because of this very serious injury or because they have some sort of chronic illness that prevents them from coming to school. They typically are allowed to do that from home, but that's extremely rare. It's usually in a pretty serious case. And if SpongeBob really was that banged up, like I saw, he's likely to be eligible for that, at least for a period of time. Mrs. Puff here, I see she's in a wheelchair and has her arm bandaged up and her leg. If a teacher is injured, they too may be out for a period of time and may have a workman's comp claim where they are claiming an injury at work, but very typically, as soon as the doctor allows them to return, even with some degree of restrictions, they will be able to return to work, especially if they're a teacher, if they're serving in the teaching role in the school, because teaching is less about manual labor and things like that. Of course, you're teaching and, you know, you can do so sitting down for most of the day. The doctor may say, okay, you can go back to work like this with, you know, crutches or a wheelchair or whatever it is, but they may say, okay, you can't stand up more than an hour a day, and you can't, you know, lift heavy objects, things like that, but you can still go to work. All right, well, that's the episode. I did really enjoy that one. SpongeBob did some of the best driving in this episode that I have actually seen him do. He actually did a pretty good job. I'm really surprised. And a lot of the episode took place outside of the boating school, but was still kind of sort of part of it. Mrs. Puff had the right strategy there. Sometimes, even in real life, it's kind of funny. Some of these silly things I'll look at, but they have some surprising parallels to real life. Sometimes a teacher will pair particularly high-performing student with one that is struggling, and that high-performing student will sort of rub off on them, so to speak, or help them in some way, sometimes more than the teacher, because that student peer may have a way of explaining the material better, or they just relate better to them. I have seen that work before. But I'm going to leave the video here. If you're not subscribed, be sure and subscribe to the channel by clicking the button below, and consider becoming a channel member. Also, channel members get access to our members-only Discord, as well as early access to videos and other perks. But I'll leave the video there. I hope to see you next time on the next video here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.